Welcome back to another year of spooky reviews during the course of October. We're going to have a spine-tingling selection of horror films to watch. And by spine-tingling, I mean frightful imagery for anybody ages 10 and below.
Yeah, I couldn't find too many scary cartoons to watch this year.
Regardless, I have a lot in store for you jabronis. There will be witches, ghosts, monsters, and worst of all, Adam Sandler. Oh yeah, we got Sandler. This brings us to our first movie, the 2012 animated screwball comedy Hotel Transylvania, distributed by Sony Pictures and directed by Genndy Tartakovsky, the creator of Samurai Jack and one of my favorite animated shows of all time, Dexter's Laboratory.
So one would wonder how an animator with an eclectic television career would make the transition into feature-length films. Let's find out.
Our movie begins with the Prince of Darkness and the most iconic vampire in literature, Count Dracula. He's voiced by
Peekaboo!
Oh no!
Sorry, I'm not up on modern technology.
That's just peachy.
Adam Sandler is voicing our protagonist as we learn that Dracula isn't a terrifying Lord of Darkness, but the overprotective father and builder of a vacation spot for monsters.
Yes, exactly. A hotel for monsters. Way to sum it up.
I was worried since I don't think Sandler has proved himself to be a good voice actor over the years, especially in a movie I reviewed a while back called 8 Crazy Nights. It comes down to range. Unlike a lot of people working in voice acting, Sandler always seemed like he's just goofing off the same way a little kid makes fun of their teacher, parent, or best friend.
It usually comes down to two Adam Sandler voices. Number one, I'm the child who likes to be taken seriously as an adult. And number two, I'm the angry child who wants to be taken seriously like an adult.
Make him talk with an exaggerated Transylvanian brogue, and there's Adam Sandler's Dracula. Now, truth be told, supported by the very wacky animation and the way the character is developed later on, his voice goes from a major complaint to a minor annoyance. So, no, Bram Stoker's probably not rolling in his grave. Yet. As mentioned previously, Dracula builds a hotel for monsters who need time away from hiding from humans in an interesting twist where we're the villains to their stories.
The monsters ran away and were forced into hiding. But Harry the human found them and jumped out from under their bed. They are getting fatter so as to overpower us. And they are wearing less clothing, allowing more movement to strangle us or cut open our heads and put candy in them.
Dracula's friends are, coincidentally, Adam Sandler's friends in real life, and 90% of them get casted in the generic movie produced by his company Happy Madison. Frankenstein's monsters played by Kevin Smith, the Invisible Man is David Spade, and the Wolfman's voiced by one of my personal favorite actors, Shimmy! Truth be told, of these actors, and CeeLo Green is the Mummy for some reason, Spade and Shimmy are probably the best characters. Spade, for one, plays the dork as opposed to the jackass we normally see him as in movies like The Emperor's New Groove, and Shimmy is a stressed-out family man with 12.5 kids. Now just imagine a world of wild-eyed, high-pitched Brooklynite wolf kin. I'd call it Shimmyland! And it would be awesome. In the end, we see the subject of the old Universal monster movies act like the guys you see at a late-night bowling league. But in all honesty, the movie starts to pick up near the 20-minute mark, where we're introduced to the human character Jonathan as voiced by Andy Samberg. Sure, you could be one of the many people who feel that he's probably only casted since his name could quite easily be confused with Sandler's, but by God, he's the goofiness this goofy movie needs. We have a 20-something-year-old backpacker who wanders his way into the hotel. Dracula's paranoia with having a human in his hotel is tested. It's only made crazier when considering how oblivious this kid could be. He's practically the character you'd find from the old Abbott and Costello movies. You know, the ones where they stumble across the old Universal movie monsters. Or maybe I'm the only one who sees this because I grew up with these movies. It doesn't help that Jonathan begins falling for Mavis. And yes, it's a better love story than Twilight. Don't believe me? The movie even brings it up.
Tell me, do you dream of being a vampire?
This is how we're represented. Unbelievable.
God bless you, Genndy. So sadly, the movie walks through the cliches where the old curmudgeon finally loosens up and grows a heart 3 times his actual size. Just a shade darker since he's undead. But truth be told, we get an interesting backstory from Dracula showing how the human prejudice led to his wife's murder, therefore showing how his overbearing nature towards Mavis is done to keep her safe. Again, like I mentioned in a couple of other reviews, a dead mother to make the father seem more sympathetic is nothing new, but unlike the movie Chicken Little, does make the father more redeemable. You know, as opposed to avoiding your kin. Jackass. So once it's revealed that Jonathan's a human, what do you expect next? Do you expect Mavis to suddenly mope and Jonathan to...
I don't care. I still want to be with you.
Huh. That's kinda genuine. For a brief moment, right before going into the movie cliches that lead to the couple reuniting, the brief moment where Mavis tells Jonathan that she would still love him despite being human is, I don't know, kinda nice. But because Jonathan's understanding of Dracula's past, he's the one who leaves, therefore causing the bloodsucker to change his ways. So like I said, the results in the monsters and Shimmy! Realizing humans can be more trusting, Mavis falling back in love with Jonathan, and...
Coolest dance sequences in animation today.
Now I refuse to be called an apologist for having pointed out the cliches and annoyances coming from some voice actors just by the sheer fact that I like Andy Tarkovsky. Me liking his work previously doesn't change how I feel about this film. That, and I loathe the word apologist. It's like the last minute retort a 5-year-old has with his parents who can't make an argument and goes into a temper tantrum. If I did find more faults like the ones I mentioned before, then I would kindly give this a bad rating. But for the nice story dealing with an offbeat couple, vampire dad and the laid-back slacker made the film work as an oddball comedy. I don't even mention in detail how much I get a kick out of the zombie characters for the little gestures they do in the background, or by interacting with the rest of the supporting cast. Do I even need to explain what I love about the animation? It's free, it's loose, it utilizes a lot of expressive poses both in the facial expressions to the body movement. The best example of this comes from the kick-ass dance sequence I mentioned previously. This seems like the movie Disney tried to make with Chicken Little, but could not find a way to make these characters or cliches work, reminding us why these cliches worked in the first place. What more can I say about this film than giving it a watch for yourself, if you and your kids like watching an irrelevant but wacky cartoon with a cast of misfit monsters. That's why Hotel Transylvania is getting a worth it rating in my book.
Now I know what you may be thinking if you've seen my Cloudy 2 review. What happens to Animat after I enlightened him about the beauty of Sony Pictures animation? Well, thanks to the beauty of the Patriot Act and me having close surveillance on his house, we can find out.
Oh god, where are those Popeye tweets? Needs to delete those Popeye tweets before Big Brother Joey sees me.
Hey, Mama Luca.
No, please not that again!
Relax, I just wanted to follow up with you and see how I gave you a new perspective on Sony Pictures animation.
Right. Well, as you may know before, I didn't fully understand what Sony Pictures Animation was doing with their the thing that they, what they usually do at the studio. And, you know, I didn't fully get what they were doing, like with all those things that they do and all the bad, you know, ba like a sheep, you know. You know, they did announce that they're gonna make the Lamb, you know, a nativity story. You know that, right?
Not convinced.
No! Not again! No!
So today's question's going to be interesting. What is your favorite Universal movie monster? Or your favorite Universal monster movie? In correlation to maybe them crossing over or whatever. Now, I bring this up because there are plans of making a Universal movie monster cinematic universe. Good God, does everything need to have a cinematic universe these days? Whatever. I'm Joey Tedesco, and thanks for watching this spooky review on the Cartoon Palooza.